Hello, fellow classmates. Just a brief introduction. My name is Dana Koprowski, and I am a distant learner. I reside in Pensacola, Florida, about 9 hours from your location, hence my presentation. My capstone project encompassed the challenges and potential alternative solutions in regards to IRSC's capstone course. Let's get started.
The background and significance of my project. Numerous students tend to experience difficulties with certain aspects of the capstone course, particularly with establishing placement. Due to these difficulties, are there alternative options or solutions in order to complete the capstone requirements? Would these options be supported by IRSC and the student? Would the student reap the same benefits with alternative methods as they have the traditional capstone model? With research and investigation, potential alternatives have been sought out, obstacles have been addressed, and feedback has been gathered in order to bring awareness to these challenges and further assist IRSC with a potential outcome. The Project Management Action Plan. The project goal and outcome encompass the determination of alternative capstone methods for prospective students. The project objectives and strategies were to assist in generating a proposal and gathering data by conducting a student survey, interviewing current and potential stakeholders such as students, faculty members, potential placement sites that denied placement based on personal experience, and businesses that provide simulation services for capstone. And also to conduct research and design of simulated capstone approaches through outsourced services such as Capstone.com. Overall, the Project Management Action Plan resulted in being a successful key portion to the final outcome and conclusion of the project. So let's talk a little bit about that student survey.
As you may recall, in the beginning of the semester, I conducted a brief survey, that of which was sent to most of the class. I did want to share those results with you since they are a big portion of this project and essentially started the initial foundation of my research. Question number 1 was, do you feel there were challenges in establishing placement for your capstone? 70% of you answered yes to this question, while 30% of you answered no. Question number 2, would you like to see alternative methods for completing the capstone requirements withheld by IRSC? 100% of you answered yes to this question. Question number 3, do you feel the traditional capstone model that is in place by IRSC is beneficial to your future career path? 77% of you answered yes, and 22% of you answered no. Question number 4, amongst any challenges faced in establishing placement for your capstone, please check the factors that most apply to your experience. 60% of you said that you did experience lack of communication or feedback from your potential placement sites. For example, return phone calls, emails, or establishing relationships. 50% of you answered lack of availability in placement sites or lack of willingness for organizations to assist students for capstone. 60% of you said yes, that you did experience time constraints for capstone approval. 40% of you answered that you were not satisfied with your established host site, but took whatever placement you could get due to those challenges. And 20% of you answered that you did not experience any challenges with your established capstone placement site. Question number 5. Do you agree with the time dedication required by IRSC for capstone at the established placement site? 37% of you answered yes, while 62% of you answered no. In question number 6, if a more virtual approach became available to prospective students for capstone, would you support this method? almost 90% of you answered yes, that you would support this method as it would not require students to devote hours on site at placement. And 11% of you answered no, that you feel the traditional method is most beneficial and prefer the on-site hours.
So let's talk a little bit about Capstone through capstone.com. As further research was conducted for this project, the exploration of completing capstone coursework virtually seemed interesting and was a potential option in the initial proposal. It entailed the utilization of a simulated approach for prospective capstone students through services provided by capstone.com. Using this design would allow students to virtually run their own company. So let's watch a brief video to help put things into perspective.
The transition from college to the workplace is a big step. Even for the brightest students, the gap between theory and practice can be daunting. More than 500 business schools bridge that gap by giving their students a realistic experience before they launch into the real world with Capstone Business Simulation. Traditional business education can provide theory. Capstone puts theory to practice. It's a hands-on opportunity to apply knowledge, test assumptions, and learn from complex management decisions without real-world risks. Capstone was originally built for corporate management training and has been used by some of the world's most prestigious companies for more than 30 years. That's why it's the ideal springboard to help students make the leap into their career with confidence. Using an online interface versus live or virtual competitors, students are given control of a $100 million company and must develop and execute a strategy in a tough, fast-changing marketplace. It's their job to see the big picture. How does accounting relate to production? How does marketing integrate with R&D? How do sales forecasts impact financing activities? You can expect students to make mistakes and learn from the solutions. With Capstone, missteps are not only inevitable, but essential for the learning process. Best of all, Capstone provides a one-on-one client relationship consultant for every instructor, plus full support for students online and by phone. To find out how Capstone can bridge the gap and put business theories into practice, please contact Capstone via phone or email, and someone will contact you soon.
All right, so some fun facts about capstone.com. Using this simulated design would allow students to virtually run their own company. They would be exposed to financing, budgeting, department and organizational structuring, and marketing, just to name a few. Top colleges such as the University of Texas, Iowa State University, University of Notre Dame, Vanderbilt University, and even Harvard University are part of their client base. Capstone has an established reputation with an AACSB accreditation and could potentially bridge the gap in finding an alternative solution to the challenges we face with our current Capstone model. And an interesting fact is the standard fee for Capstone simulated Capstone services are no higher than $53.99 per student. Further research findings after my communication with key stakeholders are as follows. During a brief conversation with Melissa Looney, internship coordinator at UWF, she implied how real the struggle can be for students in finding placement. So much, in fact, that her primary role at UWF is to assist students in doing so. This is her job and what she was hired to do. She further stated that students should not take it personally, but companies, institutions, or professionals just don't take the time, or have the time for that matter, to assist students in getting established. The realization after this discussion confirms that her role at UWF indicates that challenges must be experienced on the instructor level as well. And in order to alleviate both the student and instructor from the challenges of establishing placement, her role was created. As part of the project management action plan, The idea and possible utilization of such services was brought to the attention of Allison Moore, instructional designer at IRSC's virtual campus. The idea seemed intriguing to her. However, there were concerns from a financial standpoint. Some potential barriers with my project. So, with any sort of change or proposal academically, barriers are expected to arise. First and foremost would be acquiring high-level approvals from IRSC and academic administrators. Implementation of Capstone.com within the current Capstone course and as a part of the curriculum. Regulation of the simulated approach to be acquired by instructors, potential financial concerns, and how that would roll into the course or be afforded by the college and or the students. Whether there are any loopholes within these services, technological issues, etc. And most importantly, the effectiveness of what the simulated approach can or cannot offer to our students. Can this approach assist in quality improvement in regards to Capstone? Over the duration of the project, certain challenges were encountered that stalled the process of the action plan and could potentially hinder the proposal. The front runner with these challenges was in regards to communication. Through the process of email and phone calls, in an effort to retrieve information, contacts such as faculty members from other institutions were non-responsive or advised me to seek information elsewhere. Additionally, financial challenges seemed to arise. The thought of potentially implementing a simulated virtual approach through services provided by Capstone.com as an option to fulfill Capstone requirements posed some concern. In fact, it was the primary concern after communicating with Allison Moore at IRSC. Implementing the use of these simulated services through Capstone.com does come with a fee, depending on which services are most desired by the school for its students. The barrier here was how would IRSC roll in the cost of these services, as the student would most likely be the ones acquiring them. Something that Moore stated she did not believe IRSC would be willing to take on after briefly discussing the topic with her director. The project evaluation and my conclusion. While evaluating the project in its entirety, the strongest element throughout this Capstone experience would be that of the student survey. When the student body speaks, it is imperative that the institution listens. Prior to the survey and retrospectively, it was thought that there were challenges to be anticipated with the Capstone course. However, the student feedback solidified and confirmed that idea and made it relevant with tangible results. Additionally, other alternatives to the current Capstone model were successfully researched and explored. A virtual approach such as that of Capstone.com was brought to the table. Research revealed that more and more colleges and some very established institutions are transitioning to the use of such services for their Capstone coursework. All have which, at some point, must have come to the realization of the challenges experienced with the traditional model, thus leading them to implement a new design for their students. We can further agree that this virtual method of Capstone is starting to trend. We will only see more growth technologically within our society, and keeping up with future trends will be key for the overall success of IRSC. Ideally, this approach could be a potential option, and we can conclude that in order for something like this to be implemented at IRSC, there are factors that need to be considered and addressed on a higher level within the institution. Thank you.